This video is all about characters that appear in the Sony PlayStation game Spider-Man 2. Therefore, it will likely contain spoilers for said video game. If you have not yet played this video game and are still trying to avoid spoilers 18 months after it was released, I highly recommend that you don't watch this video. I think a year and a half is reasonable to start talking about spoilers, but some people still seem to get their knickers in a twist over it. They're all like, oh, I haven't played this game yet. And I'm like, dude, it's been a year and a half. And then some people are saying, oh, well, I waited until I could play it on PC, so I haven't had a chance to yet. And I'm like, dude, if you wanted to play it on PC, if you really cared, then first of all, if you want to play video games, play them on an actual video game console, all right, you nerd. Oh, I'd have to download my graphics card driver so that I can use Ultra HD Real Sync technology. Buy a PlayStation. All right, jeez, and just don't watch this video. It's a video about Spider-Man 2, the video game, okay? It's gonna contain spoilers. Anyway, enjoy the show. Hello there, gang, and welcome to Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. Now, just a couple of days ago, the Hasbro Marvel Legends team revealed their Sony PlayStation Spider-Man 2 wave. And I think that we can all agree that that is absolutely a bunch of figures that have been made. I know that's a little bit mean. Don't get me wrong, we got a huge, big, honking, chonking Venom. There were a few bangers, but also there were a few clangers. Arguably quite a lot of figures that maybe no one was really asking for. Or if they were asking for them, they might not have been up at the top of the list. So I'm not going to edit that. So I thought it would be fun for me to sit down and think about what figures would actually make the ultimate Sony PlayStation Spider-Man 2 wave. And dang it, there's a lot of awesome characters that need action figure representation. And I know what a lot of y'all are thinking. You're thinking, oh, well, Dave, it's easy for you to sit there in your ivory tower without Hasbro executives and marketing people telling you what your financial limitations and restrictions are and just put out whatever wave you want. And to that I say, yeah. It's going to be fun too. So I've put together a wave that is going to be 7 figures and a Build-A-Figure, as the good Lord intended, plus a 2-pack and a deluxe figure as well. You want to hear what my choices were? Here it goes. So we're going to kick things off with the Build-A-Figure wave. Then we're going to do a 2-pack and a deluxe figure. And the deluxe figure might not surprise anyone. So with this wave, I'm going to have 7 characters plus a Build-A-Figure. It's generous, but I'll allow it to myself. So first of all, the most important character, it's gotta be black costume Symbiote Spider-Man. So a little doff of the cap to Hasbro Marvel Legends, they did give us the most important character. So I'm not gonna change that. However, I would say that they would benefit from giving us some better articulation, because the one that we were offered doesn't have toe joints, doesn't have butterfly joints, feels a little bit bare bones. Some people could argue that maybe the butterfly joints would mess up the spider symbol, to which I argue, well, not if you do it well, it won't. So you could tweak it and make it slightly more improved. Also, I want some more extras with it. Where's the symbiote surge? Where's all the different powers that you get with the symbiote? Because we got some web lines, which is nice, but I want the huge big tendrils coming off the arm that he could grab his opponents with and just have more display options and fun with it, because you can go wild with the symbiote in the game. And also, what a great design that is. Not just a black and white version of Peter's costume, but it's got textures and paneling, and it feels like icky. Like if you saw someone wearing it, you'd be like, yo, dude, you got to get that off. And if they said, no, I like the feeling of this, you'd think, okay, this won't end well. So Hasbro did an okay job with the suit, but dang it, with something that cool, I think it deserves more. So I want that with better articulation and a whole lot more accessories. Folks, it's time to take a quick pause for the cause and tell you all about this channel's sponsor, Legendsverse. You know what Legendsverse is all about by now. They are the one-stop shop for all of your action figure collecting, correlating, and cataloging needs. Not only that, but dang it, they've actually made a full-on community there with community projects and games, competitions. Right now, there's a photography competition where you can send in pictures telling a story in which you can then win a Mafex Spider-Man. There's creator content in there where you can look up different teams that people make. So if you want to know who would go into an Astonishing X-Men display or a 90s Justice League display, then you can see what people have submitted to these different archives. That's really clever. Not only that, but they have, I don't know, about 20 different toy lines on there by now. Every time I log on to Legendsverse, they've got a new subline of figures. Whether it's Marvel Legends, McFarlane DC, Mafex Select, SH Figure Arts, Jada, Mortal Kombat, Transformers, Masters of the Universe, Hot Toys, Mezco. It's crazy. So go check them out. You'll be glad you did. And dang it, it's quite the rabbit hole to go down. Now for Miles, this is kind of an interesting one because I'm once again going to agree with Hasbro's choice. I think that the Boricua costume is probably one of the best variants that they could have chosen. Now obviously you could have gone for the OG look, but we have that already. We got the Sony PlayStation Miles a couple of years ago, and that figure, I think it's one of the best Marvel Legends from the last few years. Alternate heads, alternate hands, fully sculpted, textured costume. Beautiful. So good they even made it twice with the invisible version. So we don't need to retread old ground by doing that again. Instead, for an alternate, the Boricua costume I know made a lot of people happy. Loads of folks love that costume. It embraces his heritage and it's a cool look as well. So in a video where I'm saying what Hasbro should have done different, I'm kicking off the wave by actually saying, no, you know what? Those were great choices. However, we're going to have a whole bunch of different ones now. Because the next figure I think is the one that was most conspicuous by his absence in this wave. Of course, it's Kraven the Hunter. When we got to the end of the live stream reveal video, I was waiting for them to Columbo us. I was waiting for them to be like, oh yeah, just one more thing. Boom, Kraven the Hunter, Deluxe or something like that. But no, like the secondary protagonist, arguably for the start of the game, the main protagonist, was nowhere to be seen. I'm guessing that maybe they thought, well, that's just too much sculpting, too much work, too much detail. He has a very intricate costume, and maybe they just thought, nah, this looks like a lot of work. Well, you know what? I'm not afraid of fictional, imaginary hard work. So I would be willing to do that because Kraven needs it. This is the most badass version of Kraven that I think we've ever had in any media. It was such a shame, well not a shame, but it was kind of funny that this came out around about the same time as the Kraven movie and everyone was like, oh, this is actually what Kraven should be like. Such a badass in the game and an action figure of him with the kind of modern look that he has that still harkens back to the slightly goofier 1960s version. So good. So wicked. Crazy that it's not being released in this wave of figures. Will we ever see it? I sincerely hope so, because my goodness, it would be wicked. Now a real fun one. Scream. Scream looks so wicked in this game and was such a surprise. I didn't expect to see Scream pop up. Heck, I didn't expect to see a lot of stuff in the game. I was so pleased playing it that it just took all these twists and turns where I was like, are they gonna do this? And then they did the thing. And I was like, oh, they did the thing. And one of those things was giving us Scream. And in the costume that she had in the game, the way that it was so alive and organic with the yellows and reds swirling in with each other, the jagged teeth, the mouth. Oh man. So wicked. And also we need a new Scream for the 616 collection as well. And this would work in that too. She just looks vicious and mean and gnarly. Such a wicked character design. I would absolutely mark out to have this on my shelf. Now we're going to take it back around to Peter Parker and we're going to do the classic advanced suit. I call it classic because it's classic for Sony Spider-Man. And we have had a version of this, but it really wasn't that good. It was just a repainted Spider-Man. Where's the detailing, folks? Where's the texture? Where's the lines and the panels and all these different things that actually make the suit feel advanced. Because the whole point of it is, it's not just cloth, it's got more stuff going on. And we're really overdue a good Marvel Legend of this. Because the one that came out several years ago, it looked very much of its time. Very much in the same kind of vein as Spider-Man UK or any other random Spidey repaint. A suit that's now become quite iconic and associated with the Sony Spider-Man game franchise deserves a unique sculpt all of its own. So even though we're doubling up on Peter representation, I don't think anyone would be too mad about it. Okay, well that's doubling up, but what about tripling up? Well, you know what? It's my list, so I'll allow it. How about Peter Parker in the Anti-Venom suit? Because we did get Peter Parker in the Anti-Venom suit from this Marvel Legends stream. It was the inverse color blue version for some reason. Why did you do that? There are some decisions that are just head scratchers, and it's like, are you planning to do the symbiote Anti-Venom suit in the original colors and release that separately? Because I bet you won't. But for whatever reason, you were like, no, let's do it in blue. And I guess, like, why? Because shut up. That's why. Just do it in blue. But won't fans of the game want the original one? Yeah, probably. But you know. It's fun to needle them. I'm just having this imaginary conversation in my head, but I'm pretty sure that's how it played out at Hasbro headquarters. So there you go. Go back to the drawing board, do the symbiote Anti-Venom suit, but just do it in the classic colors. Give us the figures that we want, not the figures that we kind of want. I mean, is that too much to ask? I don't think it is. Kind of an honourable mention for the wave is the Sandman. Sandman rears his sandy head all throughout Spider-Man 2, but he's not one of the main villains, and I'd say, well, that would be another fun character to have. However, I think that the No Way Home MCU Sandman would actually be a perfect fill-in for this Sandman, because you pretty much only fight his Sandman drones. Shall I say Sandman one more time? Sandman. You only fight the drones in the game, really, and they're all just that plain sandy look, which is pretty much a one-to-one identical version of the MCU Sandman. So what I'd recommend is just slapping a Gamerverse tag and re-releasing that figure at a knockdown budget price for all Army Builder collectors. I know they wouldn't do that, but it'd be a lot cooler if they did. And then finally, the seventh figure to make up the wave. How about a symbiote drone? Because then you got the chance to get all those people who want to go army building. Because if this is a wave of 7 figures, then you need one that doesn't need to have a Build-A-Figure piece with it. And this would be absolutely perfect. A symbiote drone that you could use in a 616 display or a Gamerverse display. You could have it in like kind of a purple color, something a little bit bright, a little bit different, have some nice sculpted details, the circular mark of null. Actually, that would be great. You could have an alternate head, so you could have one with like normal symbiote eyes, or you could have one with the swirl, the mark of null. That would look so cool. Throw in some big gnarly claws, gnashing teeth. So much fun, and you'd get your money's worth out of that. Because do you think for 1 second that people wouldn't want to army build a whole entire legion of symbiote drones? Believe me, we would love to do that. So those are the basic figures in the wave. Now for the Build-A-Figure itself, it's gotta be the Lethal Lizard. This thing was huge in the game, and you know what? I'm demanding a huge Build-A-Figure. I'm going to get greedy again. Don't worry, I'm not going to do the piggy oinking noises, but I want a big chunky Build-A-Figure that makes you feel like you're getting a proper reward for buying the whole wave. And the lizard in the game looked so badass. It was great because you had both Peter and Miles battling it and chasing it at different times. So with all the different figures, you could make some great dioramas. The figure design, the character had this great kind of spiky iguana kind of look to it. It was evolving throughout the game. Just such a cool, awesome design. I want to bring us back to the heyday, the halcyon time of Build-A-Figures when they were badass, value for money, and really made you feel happy to have bought the whole wave. And that, my friends, is what a lizard Build-A-Figure would do. Now, a little 2-pack. And for a 2-pack, I was kind of torn. What would work well for a 2-pack? And I thought, you know what? How about a couple of the ancillary characters that both look pretty badass? So first of all, the Wraith. Yuri Watanabe. This character was set up in the first game and then paid off, I think, a bit throughout the DLC of the first game, and then full reveal as the Wraith in Spider-Man 2. And I dug it. I really loved it. I loved her in the comic books. It's the purple costume. It just looks fun. It looks really cool. Plus, we don't have any other female representation in the line besides the Scream symbiote. So actually having Yuri Watanabe in there, it'd be fun, give a bit of variety. Because also, I feel like in the Marvel Legends official wave, just a little bit dull, a lot of dark costumes, nothing very exciting. Whereas the Wraith with the purple and the gold and the swirls, there's a lot to just enjoy seeing her posed on the shelf. So that's one half of a 2-pack. And then for the other one, how about Prison Break, Mr. Negative. I think Mr. Negative was a surprising star of Spider-Man 2, tying his story into Miles and that sense of redemption and forgiveness. There was some real nice storytelling arcs going on there. And Mr. Negative with the beard and the unkempt hair and just looking kind of disheveled but still badass, it would be a nice kind of counterpoint to the suited and booted Mr. Negative we got from the first game. So a Yuri and a Negative 2-pack together, you know what? I think that would work. So we've got the main wave, we've got the Build-A-Figure, we got the 2-pack, now it's time for the Deluxe. And this is where, once again, I am slightly mirroring the official wave, because who else is it gonna be but Venom himself? And there are a few things about the official one that I do genuinely like. The size is exactly what it needs to be. Some folks actually said, what are they doing? That Venom's way too big. And it's like, well, actually, if you've played the game, nope, that's right. The Venom is huge. The only problem I have with the official Marvel Legends one is that what they seem to have done is just take a regular size Marvel Legend and just made it bigger. But that doesn't really work for me so much, because what you're doing, it's like enhancing a photo bigger than it should be. You lose the detail and it becomes pixelated. With this figure, you just get a whole lot of plain matte black plastic. It looks kind of, well, dare I say, a little bit cheap. At a glance, it looks like one of those Maximum Venom cartoon Spider-Man figures that you get in the kids section. You know, not the adult kids section, but the kids section. So I feel like you want to change it up a little bit to make it feel more prestige. So how about giving it a great kind of pearlescent kind of paint job? Kind of like they did with the Eternals wave. What was the name of the big bad in Eternals? Can you remember? I can't. But they made an action figure of him. And he had a nice kind of pearlescent kind of black color scheme. There's a creator called Symbiote Seeker, whose work I used earlier in the Scream portion of this. And they made a cool character with that kind of pearlescent look. It was the Ultimate Venom, I think. And it really would kind of mirror the way that Venom looks in the game. Because yes, he's technically black, but he's always reflective of the surfaces around him. Giving him a paint job like that, make him feel so much more alive. Similarly, you're going to have to put more details on the teeth and the gums and the jaws, guys, because again, you're taking a small figure's paint job and you're expanding it to a bigger size, and that means that the teeth and the gums, having them all just one color, and the tongue, it doesn't look good. You got to actually have some more paint, some more spot work detail in there to make it feel more alive and organic, not just like a whole bunch of plastic, which ultimately is what it is. It's your job to disguise that. And then also, just to round it out, because, hey, this is my wave and the way I want it to be, give the boy some wings. Come on. That was, again, one of the coolest reveals at the end of the game, was Venom sprouting his wings. And you've done it before with the Null 2-pack. Give him some removable wings. But this time, because it's a bigger figure, you can give him a couple of little plugs that you can put in the back, so when he doesn't have the wings, he hasn't got two big gaping holes in his back. If you did that, throwing in the wings as well, now that, my friend, would be the ultimate Venom. And folks, that does it for my pie-in-the-sky fantasy version of what I would like a Sony PlayStation Spider-Man 2 wave to be. What did you think about it? Was it completely ridiculous, or am I actually talking about things that it wouldn't be unreasonable to ask for? I know that the whole object of these companies is to put out things for the cheapest price to get the most money back in return. And I'm just saying, well, hey, if you invest a bit more money in what you're doing and actually give people what we really want, then we'll be more inclined to buy the figures and give you our money. There's a little quid pro quo going on there, because me personally, I'm not going to buy any of the figures from this line. But you know what? If you made some of the ones that I suggested, oh boy, I'd buy the bejesus out of them. And not just to prove myself right. That would be petty, and heaven forbid. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this and you want to support the channel, you can get yourself a YouTube channel membership, just like all the folks who are scrolling up to the side of me. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and helping me keep putting these videos out. Unfortunately, it doesn't help me structure sentences. Nope, still an absolute train wreck. So gang, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Coffee. Big time.